Hey there, so the other day I upload this short animation of a growing plant, and yeah, I went through some difficulties, and well, kind of solved them, especially the instancing of the leaves that can't be done like with proper instancing, because then all the leaves are going to behave in the same way and you lose the control over them. So what I did was using scripting, Python, and then I found another way, a little bit destructive. And yeah, ideally with loop nodes, this could be much easier, but this is what we have right now. So yeah, I was thinking that maybe it could be nice to upload kind of like a breakdown of it, so you can see it, and yeah, maybe you have a better idea of how to do this, and you can share it with me. That would be lovely. And yeah, let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a bit how I made this animation in Blender. It's all geometry nodes based, and as you can see here, yeah, it's just, there is like a lot going on. This is so ugly. Yeah. So like, I mean, like, this doesn't seem like too much, but if you go inside of all of these nodes, yeah, like there is like a lot of layers over here. So I'm not going to make a tutorial or anything. I don't have the time to go through all this, and also I didn't organize it very well, as you can see. So yeah, I'm not going to make you suffer as I did. Anyway, I just want to show you a bit, just like the basic structure over it. And yeah, so if you don't know how to use geometry nodes, then just close the video and come back maybe in another moment. All the steps on the structure of making this grow like this. Maybe if I put it like this, you can see it better. And yeah, hopefully this will help you. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a stem, and that is growing over time, and it's also moving, and then all the leaves are moving. So the idea here is that we will have like a leaf object, that is this one, with some parameters that are controllable. I'm now going to go to fuck the wireframe. So this leaf over here is geometry nodes based, has some parameters, and then kind of the idea would be to instance it on every point of the stem. But if you instance, you know that like all these parameters are going to be locked. So that's not going to help. And I'm going to tell you a bit about the different approaches that you can follow. Wireframe. Okay. So the general idea would be to have a grid, and then over here we'll add just an image texture of a leaf. So I just have this image texture with different leaves, and yeah, I also have the alpha, the roundness, the normal, everything that you need. This is not the one, but that is this one. Yeah, cool. So once that I have this, then if I just use these textures over here, then I have a leaf, and I don't really need to go and scoop the geometry, over this. Cool. So my idea was like, well, I just want to pick, let's say, this part over here of the leaf, and then I just put it over here. But that's just going to generate one type of leaf, and as you can see, I can use more shapes, more variations. So if I could just kind of generate with a seed a random value, and then just generate an UV map that is going to fit with each one of these leaves, then based on this seed, I can just generate a different leaf, and then the plant is going to have more variation. Anyway, I think that you understand me. So this is basically, I need a way to randomize the UVs and place them in a proper order. So Let me just go here. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is how I get it. And this is done just basically creating a list of all the UV coordinates. I just like search them manually. And you can see it over here. It's like this node, like basically all the parameters that you need. And then just like I just output them with the value of the seed. Yeah, so now you can just have all the plants, all the leaves that you want. Okay, now this is very boring. You wanna give it a little bit more of shape. So I just was thinking, well, when leaves grow, they kind of grow unfolding. So for unfolding, I just need to generate some algorithms that are going to unfold it for me. First, I just generated this one. Let me just clear. Yeah, that is just going to unfold it in the. Just close this. It's going to fold. Oh, unfold this. Yeah, in the y-axis, and then would be nice if we also unfold it in the x-axis, so in this direction, right? Okay. Well, one thing that is important here is kind of conserve the area of the leaf, so it's not stretching. Okay, cool. And now what I can do is just combine both, and I have a combined effect. Yeah. Now this is like kind of boring. This is just super flat, so we can make it a little bit more noisy. So you can see here, I just added a little bit more of variation. You know, like that is kind of based on that. You can see it also maybe here better. Yeah, it's just a kind of like a little bit of detail. It will make it look less boring. Cool. Let's continue. Okay. As you can see now, I have like kind of like a constant wind deformation that is just made with the unfold parameters that I had before, giving them some noise, so it's not like a big deal. And now what I was thinking is like, well, I have this different leaf, I can just arrange them and duplicate them, so it generates like kind of like a branch. So that is done over here. So as you can see, just duplicate them with different seeds and just give them different values, and also sometimes deleting one of them with a switch node. So yeah, now you just have something that, you know, you can just tweak. And that's all of this part. Now you want this to connect it to the stem, so that's how. Okay. So just like it's like a normal curve over here, nothing. I just like kind of like make this shape, but there is not too much going on. You can also make it longer or shorter or whatever, but that's not the point. So yeah, now it comes a little bit of hair scattering over here. It's kind of nothing too complicated. It will make it look better in the render, especially when there's like hard light going over it. And now at the end, just like adding kind of like the general growth. So just like kind of like a rotation when all the leaves are small, and also like changing the scale a little bit, you will get this effect. And yeah, that kind of works. So that's the leaf. Let's go now to the stem. The stem is, a part of it is not complicated and the other part is a mess. So let me see how I can explain it. Okay, so as every stem that you wanna create starts with a line, and then you just wanna trim it to make it grow. Yeah, just trim it and it grows. And then you just wanna mesh it, so just mesh to curve to mesh, sorry, with the circle as the profile. Yeah, so here it is. So yeah, just kind of like generated simple geometry around it. You can see it here. It's watching out with the radius. That makes sense. And yeah, basically that. So yeah, later on you wanna instance hairs also on the stem. Maybe they are too big right now. Just reduce it a little bit. And yeah, like the idea is that later on this in the render is going to look much nicer. See, you break up a little bit the detail and stuff. Yeah. So one thing that I see a lot is that the scattering changes per frame, like the seed of the scattering. So that's why you should watch out, because it's normally scattered per area, and if you see here, the area of this of the mesh of its face is changing. So you wanna make that constant. And that was a little bit of a problem, but yeah, once that is kind of like normalized, the area of each polygon, then the scattering is constant, and then you don't have that problem, and then it looks good. Yeah. Okay, so here I have a little bit of like a software where the things are being instanced. I'm not instancing now the leaves to don't make it confusing. Okay, so as you can see here, this is what is going on. So what is happening? I am instancing on the trimmed curve, and then here you can see, if I turn on the wireframe and I display this in a normal way, that there is like the other leaf is growing inside the last instance. So I never have like a weird leaf appearing or something, because then when there is like two plants over here, one is going to start growing like this, and the other one is already a little bit bigger with different rotations. So you are going to see both, although here this icosphere is being hide by the other one. So that's it. That's done with a little bit of math, but nothing too crazy. And now you have your leaves growing. You obviously want to randomize the rotation and the stuff, but yeah, you already know how to do that, so I'm not going to show it now. So now I have this, and there are already the instance, although you can see them, and the stem and the hair. Okay, so now what's coming next? This is super boring. This is like flat, so just adding a little bit of noise on top of it, you know, so then we don't have such a boring thingy, and even more noise. And this one just also changing in time, so there is like wind effects and stuff. Yeah, now it's just the moment of instancing the leaves. So if I would just instance now my leaf object here, yeah, it would look like shit. So as you can see here, I don't have still the random rotation, because that's going to come later, but I just want to show you what would happen if I would just instance my normal leaf geometry. Like, it would look like this. So imagine then now like each one rotated in a different direction. Okay, so it's not going to look so bad, but it still is not going to look good. What would happen is like all of them are doing the same, you know, like there is no, I mean, there is change in the scale, but if you notice, like there is not unfolding. And now if I would like go to the leaf, change something, they do the same. So this is not looking good. Even if I realize I'm losing all the data that is over here on my geometry nodes of the leaf object. So as far as I know right now, there is no way of handling that. Maybe in the future, when there are like loop nodes in Blender, we can do it, but yeah, for now that's not the case. Maybe with the new simulation nodes there is a way, but anyway, I'm not going to go through that right now. So what can be done at this point? Well, so what we could do is use a little bit of Python scripting. Okay, so this is the code that makes this possible. I think that is interesting to go through it a little bit, because you can apply it to a lot of things. Basically, how to, like, let's say, instance proper like geometry node setup, having control of all the parameters. Although makes Blender a little bit slow and confused. I couldn't figure it out the way to make it efficient, but I will come back later to that. Okay, so what this is doing, I'm not going to go through all the code, but I'm just going to show you the main parts. This is all this stuff at the beginning is nothing. Here is the first important part. So what this is doing, okay, is just reading in my geometry nodes spreadsheet the instance data, okay, and it's just saying if you have 20 leaves, go and create 20 leaf objects and just place them in the middle, okay. And then once that you have this, let's make another, like a handler that goes through every frame, and every frame is going to read the instance data. Let's see, the rotation, the position, the scale, and it's just going to apply to the leaf geometry, and also it's going to send it to these parameters in the geometry nodes. I have here a place where you can see it a little bit better. So you can see here, it had created in the first frame all the leaf geometry, all of these ones, each one with different parameters and stuff, and with different sheets. So now if I go back here and I play it, boom, now everything is being transferred to the instance data. And you can see here, well, I just realized the instances with just a point to have it on vertex, just because of coding problems, because I don't really know how to code and I face some difficulties. But anyway, here you can see position instance, rest position, that's another thing. So you have position instance, scale instance, all these things that are going to help to then being transferred to each of the geometry nodes inputs. And then you can just have, let's say, like control over it. Problem, it goes super slow, and when you click to render, sadly it crashes all the time. So at the end I didn't follow this approach, but it was nice to have a feeling of how it was going to look. At the end, what I did was not this script. Yeah, so I just like manually went through, like brought here all the geometry of all the like I just like to, okay, there are going to be here like 20 leaves at the end, so I'm just like going to bring all of them here, all the objects that they had, well, actually all the node groups that generate the leaf with all the parameters, and just place them and and then send all the attributes that you can see over here. Yeah, just sending all the attributes that need to work. You can see them here, position, factor, all that stuff, and then just feed it to the actual leaf geometry, no? And this works much better. Doesn't crash when it renders, and the result is the same, so I just did it like this. What would help a lot would be to have here a loop node, a loop that just does this, and I don't need to just copy and paste, because now what happens if I want to add 25 instead of 5? I just need to duplicate them, go back, add in more instance, and that's that's not nice. But well, for now, gets the job done, and then you have something that looks fine. I hope that this helps to you. I don't know if I was too unclear or something, but yeah, that's how I did it. Thanks.